Summer's over just like that, which means we're going into fall, which means the kids are back in school, which means I get my workplace to myself Monday to Friday again, which means I can shoot these videos that a few of us watch. A lot of stuff to cover, stuff that happened, either here or out in the world. I'd like to say a few words on. So a lot of stuff to catch up on, and I got a vintage amp, so we're going to take a look at that too. That's pretty cool. So that's today's episode. Stay tuned. And we're back for another episode of the 59er Winder Show. Lots of stuff to cover, so here we go. Where do I start? See, this is all we still fly by the seat of our pants here. I've been listening to a lot of Mastodon again lately. Used to listen to them back in the day, and unfortunately we lost Brent Hines to a vehicle accident, which caused me to listen to Mastodon again and really dig into what sound and style he brought to the band. That it's actually really cool. Even though they're kind of like a metal prog kind of band, he added a lot of bluesy stuff to and weird dissonant chords and stuff to the band sound, and it was nice to listen to something again that just different. Not nobody else really sounds like Mastodon, and I tend to like bands like that, right? Like nobody really sounds like Alice in Chains. Nobody really sounds like Tool, really. And if someone sounds like them, you could trace it back to a heavy influence of those bands, and the same thing would be said for Mastodon, right? Nobody really quite sounds like Mastodon. And here's the thing I didn't really realize was that they had a whole bunch of singers. Like I knew Brent sang, but I wasn't really fully aware that the Troy, the bass player, sang as well, and so did the drummer. So it's just a really cool. So now that I listen back to it, I can really pick out each of those guys' voices throughout the song. A lot of times they trade verse, chorus, and stuff too. And so it was really cool to get back into that. And the shitty part is that it took the loss of Brent to trigger that. But I would imagine he would want us to enjoy the art that he took part in, right? So rest in peace to Brent Hines, and condolences to his friends and family and loved ones. It's never fun when someone goes before their time, right? So that's the shitty news for the week. Other than that, my truck is also on its way out, which means I'm waiting for a new vehicle, going to a more economically what's the word, environmentally friendly option with a hybrid. So I'm awaiting a Ford Maverick base model, the cheapest one they had. The reason I'm waiting is because they all have the higher trims at the dealership, and I wanted the cheapest one because come on, right? I need my payments as low as possible. But I'm looking forward to the hybrid engine and the fuel savings I'm going to get out of my bank account by operating that vehicle versus the old F-150, which with the 5-liter Mustang engine in there, the Coyote engine, which you pass them on the highway, you just see your gas gauges go right down. So that also happened. Basically, the truck just kind of showing me signs of, hey, you're going to have a lot of big expensive repairs, and payments on a new one might be less in the long run. So we're going that route. That's changed. What else? The summer went by fast. I hope everyone had a great summer. I hope everybody got a chance to do stuff that they enjoy. Camping, just hanging out by the pool, or swimming at the lake, or whatever you do, right? Hopefully everybody had a fun time doing that and are ready for another cold, long-ass winter. Plus you live south where winter's not really winter like we get up here in Canada. So there's that. I'm trying to think what else. I should have wrote this shit down, eh? As far as the other stuff is concerned, for all the month of September 2025, so this month, I've got 25% off on the items that I have in my ready to ship tab on the website. Sizable savings. It's kind of like a back to school thing, but not really, right? It's just 25% off on everything that's in the ready to ship. So that's stuff I've already made, boxed up in stock, right? I need to get those moved so that I can build more stuff to put in the ready to ship section. So there's that. Yesterday, I took the first half of the day to set up something else on the Shopify site, which is a print on demand for shirts. Because I had originally planned to have fun with designs and make shirts and stuff, but I realized that by buying a bunch of stock and having it here and then putting it on the site and shipping it out meant that I had to put a lot of money up front on stock that may or may not move. So the print on demand thing is kind of the best of both worlds. You can get a cool shirt that you like if you like the design, and then you buy it through the site. I get charged the amount from the print, so then the printer basically does all that stuff and sends it out to you. And after the end of the day, when I set everything up and then I checked it, shipping was like $27 on a $25 to $30 shirt. And that to me is ridiculous. Like, how are you supposed, like, no one's going to pay $27 shipping for a $25 shirt. So after a bunch more research yesterday afternoon, I ended up finding another option. So the first option, basically, they're like an Uber. So the order goes through, they get the order, they fulfill the order with whatever printer is like their broker. They're like a broker, and they pick the t-shirt printer that'll do it the cheapest. So they make their cut on that, and then they would put a markup on the shipping too, which causes $27. I found another one that does all the shipping, all the printing and shipping and everything all in-house at their warehouse. So it cuts out that middleman. So now the shipping is around it's under $18. Like, I think I paid, what did I pay here? One sec. So I set it up. So I've got merch. I've got t-shirts and stuff, and I can do cups and all that stuff. I'll get to the point of why I'm doing this in a sec here. Yeah, so what I did with the new setup, I went and ordered 3 shirts just to see what the whole process is as far as payment and stuff. And then to see, okay, once the payment is, like, the purchase is done, how long does it take to get the shirts in? So the site is live with the merch. I would say maybe hold off on buying stuff there, because once I receive the stuff, then I'll have a better review of what the experience was like. But I paid, it was like $12.19 shipping, and that might be USD. So we'll say about $15 just to be safe, right? So a more realistic shipping amount. So that's set up now. I'm going to put just a screenshot of what I got so far. So the whole point of this is, first and foremost, I'm a graphic designer. Well, actually, first and foremost, I'm a guitar player and guitar enthusiast. I love guitars. Guitar is my world. Without it, it's like air. I can't breathe, I die. I can't play guitar, I die. Inside, metaphorically speaking, right? So the point of this is to tap into my graphic design side, because I'm a creative at heart. Above all else, I just like creating stuff, whether it's music, guitar pickups, designs, and stuff. So this allows me to have a lot of fun with designs on shirts, stuff that I would want to wear, stuff that guitar players would want to wear, and limitless opportunities. I could try stuff and not have to worry about, oh, is this shirt going to sell or not? Put it up there. It's costing me nothing to have it there. It only costs me something if someone buys it, and then I get charged by the printing company, corporation, whatever it is, for the products, right? Is there a small profit on these? Yeah, I make a little bit. It's you know, a couple bucks most, and that basically helps feed the business. I make a little bit of money that allows me to make more designs and to push more and to push more. And then it allows me to even throw on some good sales on stuff too, where I make nothing, break even, and you get a better deal on some shirts. But it allows me to have fun without having to invest in stock, right? Because if you go to a company like you want shirts, like they have minimums, right? So you might have a minimum of 25 shirts. Say you got 4 designs, that's 100 t-shirts. Let's say there are 100 t-shirts at the cost of $15 Canadian, $20 Canadian. That adds up. This way here, I can have as much fun as I want and offer as many shirts as I can possibly dream up. And it only costs me something when someone makes an order, right? So the payment from the customer through the site goes into my account, and that covers the cost of the shirts, right? So just to have fun, right? If you look in there, if you don't want the shirt, you don't like a shirt yet, don't buy one. But if there's one, you're like, oh, fuck, that's cool, buy one, right? If you want. If there's like a shirt color, they're like, oh, I like that design, but I wish it would be, I could get it on a different shirt. I can probably work with you if you send me an email. So that's that. So right now, as you saw in I'll put it again, the screenshot. Those are just kind of designs like this for now, but I plan on making more fun and cheeky and funny type guitar related stuff on there too, just to have fun with it, right? It's like there's no limit to what I can come up with and put on there. So, keep your eye on that section. I'll keep on changing that, but I figure by the next video in a week or so, I'll have an update on the whole process of ordering shirts and then how long it took to receive them. So we'll see that. Quick thing to add about the shirts update. None of that shit is Gildan. I refuse to sell Gildan. So you can rest assured that none of the stuff that if you were to order a shirt or whatever, you're not going to get that Gildan shit. Not from me. So that's the other big change there. I'm just going to have some fun with it, right? And then as far as like the show, now we're just going to keep doing what we're doing. When I got a guitar that I'm working on or pickups that I got to fix or make or whatever, we'll talk about it and try and keep this ball rolling and give you stuff to chew on. And I think that's it. As far as the stuff to catch up on, I'm probably forgetting stuff. I do have the PRS up, the S2 up for trade or sale. That's another one. Yeah, I was going to do that as like a gigging guitar where, locking tuners, which I'm not really a fan of, but I am a fan of the PRS top locking tuners. They work really good. They're really cool. Very stable guitar. But my hand keeps scraping on the volume knob. And the O-ring trick from the previous in the summer, what did we call those again? Summer spin-offs. Had the O-ring trick under the knob on the pot shaft. That helped with hitting it and dropping the volume, but I keep hitting and scraping, and I don't like the knob layout as much. For some reason, my blue PRS has the same knob layout, but I don't have that problem. So I don't know if there's just something moved or something different. Maybe it's just the scale length of the S2 at 25 inches. It just puts the bridge in a different spot. Anyways, it's a great guitar, and hopefully someone snags it or trade for some kind of like a Les Paul, right? I'm willing to put money on top of that for the right one or whatever. But that's going to be on its way out. Great guitar otherwise, but I've tried the SE models. I've had 2 core models, and I've had now the S2. And then, as much as I love the brand and the people behind it, and I agree with a lot of things that Paul believes as far as what makes a guitar. I just can't do it. So that's up. I guess that's it. I'm going to shut my face now. Vintage amp. So over the summer, I'm looking through stuff and I post stuff and you know, it's this ecosystem of gear, right? Buy, sell, trade. Buy, sell, trade to get that other gear, this other gear, whatever. So I put some stuff up and the guy offered an amp in trade for this, a bunch of speakers, like Celestion speakers that I was no longer using. And I looked up the amp, like, well, why not? It's a pretty cool amp. So what we have here is a 1955 Magnatone. So we're going to do a quick, just over the phone playthrough kind of thing, but I'm going to do a better mic'd up video just on the amp itself. But man, it's cool. So it's got two 8-inch speakers. So it's the, what's it called? We'll do a fly over the panel, but it's a 2x8. So there's two 8-inch speakers. And it's a small cab. It's right here. You can kind of see it. It sounds bigger than it is, even though it doesn't sound as big as the other amps that I have here, but it sounds a lot bigger than I expected it. I thought it was going to sound like a little lunchbox, but it sounds huge for its size. And it's a pretty cool amp. Couple knobs. I think one channel is just the volume, and then the other channel is a volume and a tone. And I think you can bridge them or something, but the model is a Melodier. I'm probably messing this up. Melodier Deluxe 109 by Magnatone. I think it might be similar to an old Tweed Deluxe, the small ones, I think, but I could be wrong. There could be some deviations to it. But as far as inside, it's all original, except for they added a 3-prong plug. So the 2-prong, and there's one knob that's more modern. So one knob at some point got lost or broke, and they put a more modern looking one. Aside from that, maybe the grill cloth has been changed, but I'm not so sure. So we'll do a flyby over the amp so you can see what it looks like, and then we'll plug it in. I'll play some stuff randomly, and then we'll just end it there. So here goes. All right, so here is the Magnatone Melodier. We'll just try and ignore the spaghetti I've got going on here. Here's the amp. The handle may or may not be original, I'm not sure. But everything else is there. This is the new knob here. Right, so you got a microphone input. You got model 109, Melodier Deluxe. Instruments. I did see somewhere where they say it's the same impedance on both, but in this one definitely drops the impedance by a bit. And then you get your master volume and a tone, and a light, fuse, and an on-off switch. Back in here we got two 8-inch speakers, which I think are original. They seem original. It's a very clean amp. Very cool looking thing. Original Tolex, whatever you want to call it. But here's the, so back then, Magnatone went as Magna Electronics, Inglewood, California. And I believe it's like a 12-watt amp, something like that, or it might be less. But that's what we'll be plugging in today. And we're gonna have this big board here because I've got the output on the left, and then the return and send plugs. I've got just a connector cable here to bridge the output here to the send for the loop, so because there's no loop. What that does is it puts everything here basically in as if they were all plugged in one after the other. So that's the rig. We're gonna play it clean and you know, not like just dry, and then I'll add some reverb and shit like that. So I figured I'd grab the Telly. Haven't really played it so on the show, so got the Tele. It has my FC52s. So FC for Firecaster, loosely based on the 52 spec and output and stuff. So that's what's in here. And that's the Magnatone Melodier Deluxe. Model 109. Clean, bone dry. We're at about, volume's at about 3/4. And it does take pedals pretty well. I do find though, probably because the 8-inch speakers, when you start to add drive and gain to it, it gets very piercing and fizzy. So I've learned to run the tone pretty much at like 1/4. Not too high. And it tends to do cleans and distort both pretty well. Let's throw some reverb on it. So everything's going in right into the amp. There's no effects loop on the amp, of course. So everything's daisy chained together and then into the amp. Throw some reverb. And it sounds pretty good with the reverb. ODR1 for a little bit of hair. How about some chorus on there? Back to just reverb. We don't tune guitars before we hit record here, apparently. So I don't know how it's going to record the distorty part when I had the ODR1 on camera. It might sound okay, it might sound shitty. I'll find out once I'm editing this, but I do think that the 8-inch speakers aren't really built to handle gain, really. They weren't really made that way. I was told by the guy that it was loosely based on a Tweed Deluxe type of circuit. I find those tend to, when you crank them, they tend to break up a little different than this. This sounds a little more fizzy when it really breaks up. So, and the speakers, I don't think they can really handle the power, I guess. But it's a vintage amp, and you're not going to see switching stuff off. And there goes my board. I guess we're done here. I'm going to plug in right in the amp. No effects. That's nothing bone dry. You kind of hear it breaking up a little bit, just like this. Let's see what it sounds like with a Les Paul. All right, we're back with the Burst replica. I didn't tune this guitar either. See if we get a cool sound cranking it. See, distortion kind of gets a little farty there. For that. Anyways, that's this amp. I don't know what else to do, man. That's it. So we're going to do more videos with this. I'm going to mic it up and try to get some better sounds out of it. My plans are also to get better at miking and stuff, and trying to get as best of a guitar sound on video as I can. I don't know, like a lot of like the YouTubers that do this for a living, they get great tones and sound, and I think a lot of them are using the captures, like the IRs and stuff, through probably an aux box. Maybe I'll go that route eventually, but for now I'm an old school, just put a mic in front of it. I tend to get better sound to my ears that way, but we will see. I'm gonna keep working at trying to get better sound. But we're going to do more videos with this, maybe one or two, whatever. It depends on how much I can capture with the one. And yeah, it's a cool thing to document. 1955 Magnatone. And it's cool to see the Magnatone still still up and running, right? Someone else bought the company and brought it back to life, and now you got, you know, Billy Gibbons and Slash, and a lot of players actually playing Magnatone, the new stuff. So this is one of the old ones. I'm not gonna be keeping it. I'll eventually offload it when the time is right, for the right deal or right person, whatever. Mainly because I don't really have a use for a small amp like this, really. And I think it should go to someone who, either a collector or someone who loves these things, who plays them all the time. I tend to pick any of these other amps over this one just because I tend to play with more gain, right? There's a lot of guys on YouTube that are either like full out gain metal, and then there's others that are more in the, like, their version of high gain is my version of crunch, like just getting into the crunch thing. So I'll eventually get rid of it, but I do want to document a lot of it, and it's cool to see. It's cool to play with and look at, and even the smell. That's the thing that, like, the new amps don't have. Like a tube amp that's hot, and it's in a small room, like a bedroom size thing. There's a smell to it because it heats up the Tolex and the cab, and there's a smell to it. But the vintage stuff, it smells like a tube amp, but with just old upholstery. It's just a weird thing to describe, but it's still a cool smell. So that's today's episode. So all month of September, there's 25% off on what's in the ready to ship section on the site. Once they're gone, they're gone. So it expires September 30th. So whichever comes first, the 30th, or stock is gone, then the sale's done. And then I'll make some more stuff and pop it up on the ready to ship again. And then the t-shirt thing. So hopefully the next video, I'll be able to fill you in on how my experience has been by receiving the shipment of shirts that I bought. I bought it as a separate account so that the whole process is as if I'm a customer from over there, not me. So that's that. Thanks for sticking around. Thanks for watching. If you're new here, we do this kind of stuff once a week. Talk about life, guitars, and sometimes I show repairs or stuff like that. So stick around. I mean, I don't consider myself a YouTuber. This is just a hangout. You get a window into the shit I do. You know, I make pickups. I'm a graphic designer, but I'm a guitar nut at heart. And that's what we like to celebrate here on this show, is not stuff I make money on. It's stuff that we all love. It's guitars. So keep checking in. Hitting subscribe really helps. I don't video bomb you with a video every day or twice a day. I don't do that shit. I don't have time to do that. I don't even have time to write scripts for these shows. That's why they end up being way longer than they should be. But hey, it's all about grab a coffee, grab a beer, grab a pop, whatever, sit down, hang out. And maybe it gives you something. So see you on the next one. And we'll just mosey on from there.